Bye.
It's that time of year.
Good morning, everybody. I know.
Hi.
Hello. We'll give everybody another minute to hop on. Oops, turn this down. How was your weekend, Kris?
It was really good. Larry actually had 4 days off in a row, which never happens.
Mm-hmm.
Let me turn mine off now too. There we go. And I never see the man. He works so many hours, and so I always joke. I'm like, it says Kris and Larry Homestead. It's Kris and Kids Homestead with Larry who shows up to eat. Like, it's just the way it is. So I actually wrangled him yesterday to do a live with me, which is the first one he's ever been on. I mean, he obviously knows that we do things, and but he's just so funny. He's just like, I have to sit on the couch with you. Like, I have to sit still on my day off. So it was really good, though. It was really good. And so we just kind of vegged out for the weekend and didn't do much of anything. We went and saw a movie. That was like the extent of our 4-day weekend. So
nice.
Yeah. So
hey, that is nice. You guys do a lot of work over there. That's always, and I'm sure, Lisa, what were your projects this weekend?
Not much.
Really?
Not much. Yeah, I mean, we
finally.
I mean, we're pretty good about that, because if you exhaust yourself, you're not going to be worth anything to do what you got to do. So we worked on the pheasant pen a little bit. I'm going to, not today because it's in the 40s and I'm cold and I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we actually got rain starting Saturday night.
Awesome.
Which it had to be last spring, the last time we saw rain.
Mm-hmm.
Significant. And I think we got like 1.5 inches of rain, and then it was wet all day yesterday, still wet here and in the 40s. But
awesome.
I napped.
Good for you.
Napped for hours. I don't have kids, and I don't have younger kids, so I napped.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, Tammy, Tim, Posey, and Pafford Homestead. Good morning. Thank you.
Hi, you guys.
Yeah, my daughter was in the emergency room, and then I went over there and watched the babies while she slept, because her husband works on Saturdays. So when she got back from the emergency room, he went to work, and I, did what grandmas do, watch the babies clean the house while she was sleeping. And she woke up and was like, oh my goodness, thank you, Mom. I'm like, I'm just paying it forward. I had an amazing mother-in-law that did the same thing for me.
I
did. My mother-in-law was the bomb.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's feeling better now. So that's the good.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Hey, Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve.
Hey.
That's Jennifer Danger.
Yep.
Is it? Okay.
That's who that is. They changed their channel name last week. So every time I see it, I'm like, Danger. Rhymes with danger. It's rhymes with danger.
Well, I've been seeing I saw the name change, and I heard Daz mention Saturday that there was a name change. And I'll admit, Jennifer, I had to message Daz and go, I know I probably know this person, but I don't know the name change.
I like the new name.
I do too. Hello, Blue.
Hey, Blue.
Thanks,
Blue's
Brenda.
up in the middle of the night. It's the middle of the night for Blue.
Hey, our new land. Grace and Fire, welcome. So thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. And today we have Kris from Kris and Larry Homestead here in Arizona, up here in northern Arizona, really not too far from me. You're like somebody I'd consider a neighbor, Kris.
Oh, yeah, we're only about maybe an hour and 20 minutes difference from where we're at. So not quite as high as you, so not quite as much snow, but not that Phoenix heat either. So I love it.
Phoenix heat either. Boy, that's glad that we don't have that.
Absolutely. Hi, you guys. Everybody saying hi. Hello.
We're saying hi. I'm sharing out some links for a little bit, so I'm not being rude.
Thank you, Lisa.
Hey, Charlie at Pafford's.
So for anybody who doesn't know Kris and Larry Homestead, Kris, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your channel?
Absolutely. We started our channel several years ago when we were still foster parents. It started out as just focused on homeschooling because of that foster status that we had. So we didn't focus a lot on the homestead, even though we've had our homestead for 13 years. But about 2 years ago, all of the adoptions in our household were completely finalized. We just kind of merged our channel from only homeschooling to everything that we already do. A lot of times homesteading is frowned upon, especially raising your own meat and that kind of stuff in the foster community. So we decided to go ahead and put it on hold for what we really did. And so about 2 years ago, we really pushed our channel, and now it's doing amazing. And we love being able to jump in with people and talk and share some of our journeys, whether they were positive or negative. But so we're a family with 8 kids. We have 3 right now in the household. We've got our son Tristan is in a group home right now. He wasn't doing real well. He was one of our foster adopts. My son Brecken passed away 5 years ago. And then I've got 3 adult children. So we've got this whole crew, this amazing crew of kids, and everybody lives local, which is just phenomenal. So
awesome.
No grandma status for me quite yet, but I'll get there, and then it'll just explode.
It will explode. It is the funnest thing. Being a grandma is so fun. I love it. So with the 8 kids you've got, do you want to tell us about, and you homeschool them? What ages are you homeschooling right now?
Right now, Grayson turns 12 next month. I have to think, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So she'll be going into 7th grade. Tristan and Rowan are both 14. Tristan, like I said, he's in a public school right now, but they're both going in as a freshman. And then Berlin, our oldest at home, is 16, and he is starting his junior year.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're on year 19 homeschooling. We started when Shelby was 5, and she's turning 24 this year. So we're on year 19 starting homeschooling. Wow. So it has been a crazy, an interesting path that we've taken with this. So yeah, I have 3 graduates.
I homeschooled 2 of our 4 kids, and I loved it. Yeah. Loved it. I just thought it was a great experience. And when you homeschool, you realize like it does not take all day to teach kids. There is so much time wasted in the school system. I really think it's set up to be like babysitters is the main system for the school, to watch the kids so the parents can work.
Well, we don't have to have that time.
Real quick, let me say hi to some of the people that have joined us. We've got Garden to Table with Heather Lynn, Uncle Al at Die Bullfrog 79, Stewart's Prepping, Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa, Mr. Boots and Bounty. Hello and welcome everybody. Davis Family Adventures. I'm going to throw a couple more wrenches out there, if y'all don't mind. Who else we got? But go ahead, Kris.
No, you're good. It's I think our biggest realization when we were homeschooling is we didn't have to wait for kids to take out their pencils, for everybody to get in their seats, for waiting for bathroom breaks. And so we streamlined our homeschooling down to about 2 hours or so a day, plus some reading time for the kids, and everything else is homeschool or homestead oriented with our schooling. So most of our science resorts back to everything that we're working on here, whether it's the aquaponics or the goats or birthing or all that. So we've really pushed that with our kids. They get to explode watermelons, and we get to build potato guns and things that we're going to do here on our homestead. So that's been a big change, and for me, going from, I had everybody in elementary school at one time, except for my oldest Shelby. She's 4 years older than everyone. And now I've got everybody in that high school level. This has been a crazy change for us now. So that's what we're really focusing on. But Grayson's got, well, like I said, she starts 7th grade, so she's got 6 more years to go. So
awesome.
It's we're getting there.
I had one who started college early, and the other one waited and started, when everybody else did. But they were ready for it beforehand. Do you want to tell everybody? So, for the new people who've joined, this is Kris from Kris and Larry Homestead. They are right here in northern Arizona, a faith-based family of 10, and they have animals. And do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your homestead, how many acres you guys have, and what kind of and how many animals you have?
Absolutely. So we ended up purchasing the house next door to my parents 13 years ago. So between the 2 houses, so we've got 2 houses on 6 acres. It's all combined up now. We've got big barns, and we've actually got 2 herds of kuni pigs that we raise for meat and pets. And then we have 2 herds of deer. I know, I love my coonies. And then we have 2 herds of Nubian dairy goats as well. So I have 2 bucks in 2 different sections. And so we do that. We started a goat milk soap and lotion business 13 years ago. That's actually how this whole thing exploded. And now it's just gone from there. So we have, I guess, 13 coonies right now and 21 dairy goats.
Wow.
And then the chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, you name it, quail. We raise a lot of meat quail. That's our main meat in the wintertime for us. So yeah, it's been a journey. So we have about 350 animals right now. With our birds and everything, those will go up to about 2,000 here in July and August, and then back down again as we butcher and do. So
grow season.
Grow season, yeah. We've got
500.
We've got 500 quail eggs right now in the incubator to start our next flock, and then we just got another 1,000 coming in. So, and then ours are starting to lay again this season. So
that is awesome. I was watching one of your videos, and you were talking about the Nubian goats and how they aren't the ones that will climb on vehicles.
Yeah.
You were comparing them to the Nigerian dwarfs, because there are a lot of Nigerian dwarf goats up here where we're at.
Yes. Yeah, ours are like mini horses. They don't tend to have that same little man goat attitude that goes out there with the Nigis. So we started doing the Nubians. I absolutely adore the personalities with these guys. And but we get between 12 and 40 babies in a season, and sell those to 4-H and FFA families and other families that are establishing. And then if we have, extra males in our, in our goats, then they end up in my freezer. I remember the first day that one of my sons got to have goat chops, and he wouldn't eat them. And I said, you know what, just taste it. And he took a bite, and he's like, it tastes just like lamb chops, Mom. And I'm like, hello, all is well. So, and now they're like, what are you cooking for dinner? Like, is it something that we've raised? And so the kids get into it now. So we kind of
down in the valley. So like birria meat is a big deal. And so for anybody who doesn't know, you might even see, like, in the valley in certain parts of town that are largely ethnic, you might see birrias. Yeah, and birria meat is just like birria burritos. Like, those are just goat meat burritos. That's what it is. So kind of a big thing down in the valley.
Yeah, absolutely. If I got goats, they would be Nubian. I ruled out goats for now, but they definitely would be Nubian, and the main reason is for the high cream content. I just got some milk off of the person who sells us hay, and it's from Nubian goats. The butter was amazing. I made butter out of it.
No, we've got 18 gallons in our second refrigerator right now that I've got to make cheese and lotion and soap, and it was on my list to do this weekend, but we took the weekend off.
Yeah, you have to though.
Yeah. So
I saw your video, and I think you guys had already been somewhere. You were on your way to go somewhere, and you mentioned you had 50 things of lotion or something to make. And I was thinking, oh my God, I made soap this weekend, and I just made some aloe soap with melt and pour. I like melt and pour soaps for like quick, easy things. And to make it real pretty, because you can do fun stuff with it. I made it look like lemonade. Y'all will see the video here shortly. But so that's what I did. And it takes a long time. I'm thinking, holy cow, like, and lotion, when I make lotion, it takes a while. And cleanup is a nightmare. I hate cleaning the blender after making lotion. It's obnoxious.
Yeah, our lotion batches are 14 bottles. We double our lotion. It's 14 bottles per batch, and we will do 8 to 10 batches a day.
Yeah.
As well as the soap. Could we put out 1,000 bars of soap a month at least?
Wow, that's
for our business. So yeah,
so
they cure. It takes 28 days for ours to cure. So
I'm gonna scroll our 7Fs along the bottom, because this is what I would really love to hear from you about, because you do have so much going on. I mean, and even with your kids that are grown, like, parenting, in my experience, does not stop just because your kids, are adults.
it does not stop, and I've just gained more children by marriages.
Oh,
yes. So no, I woke up yesterday morning and I had one child in the house, and I told Larry, I said, I don't know what to do with myself today. And he goes, well, you've got all their chores too now. So
you talked about like what you've got going on with the kids a little bit, all the animals, your business kind of stuff. Can you share with us like what your goals are? Maybe like your big goals, and then they're gonna fit in here somewhere in the 7Fs. And as you know, like, we talk about 7Fs of goal setting, just to try to maintain balance and keep ourselves on track with what we want to do, because so easy to lose balance, and when you do a lot, that's when it happens. And I'm grabbing my pen if you see me reaching over, because I want to write down. Already, Nubian goats have more cream than Nigerian. I did not know.
They do. Write
and they
it
have
down.
big floppy ears.
Adorable.
And I think they're the best looking goats.
I do too. And they look really soft. Are they as soft as they look?
The babies are. As they get older, their hair gets more coarse, just like the Cooney pigs as well. The babies are born really soft and cuddly, and then by the time they, get to be big, they've got this weird coarse boar hair. So, so I'll go over the 7Fs in our household then, if you want. For faith, every day, Larry and I get up. We do. As long as I'm not up way earlier than he is, which is most days, it's my cup of coffee and Bible study. That's important to us. I mean, if I don't have that time with God in the morning, then I don't have my day organized. I do write my own curriculum for the kids. A lot of it is faith-based. We did that on purpose. I want them to take that with themselves later on in life. So that's something that's uber important to us. We don't preach it a lot on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page as often as we probably should. But people are strange. So I want to make sure that, just by our actions and showing our videos, that people will learn Christ through us without forcing it into them. You guys already have learned about our family. I mean, that is what our YouTube channel is all about, is being family on our farm, doing what we love to do together. I'm the dairy goat super for the county fair. So we are really active in that organization. I'm a FFA PALS leader, which is FFA for kids ages kindergarten through 8th grade. Awesome. So we present that and teach kids how to show animals, how to stand up and give speeches. And my kids are all involved in all of these activities. As for friends, we tend to do a lot of things with our faith-based friends, because they all are doing the same thing we are. They're raising their animals, they're homeschooling their children. And so we do a lot of activities with that. Finance, that's one I really have had to struggle and work on. I was an online teacher for 5 years. And when the yucky big C hit, China actually fired 150,000 teachers that were online teachers, and I was one of those. So last July, Larry and I took a big turn on our business and sat down and rewrote everything because we lost my entire income. And so we looked at that as, I mean, that was a crazy struggle, especially we were, we had just helped one of our daughters plan a wedding. I mean, it was just this horrible situation. And we, as you can see, I'm in my very crazy, messy studio right now, but we picked up jobs, outside jobs. I already have a teaching degree. I have an art degree. I have a photography degree. And we're like, let's graphic design and get that really going. So we purchased a laser machine last March, knowing that something was coming. And so we built up our business, and my business has now overtaken the price that I was making from my teaching.
Awesome.
So I'm thrilled.
Awesome.
And being able to offer both farm items and Christian-based items has been the super push that we did. And so we do a lot of shows in the summertime, a lot of sales on Etsy in the wintertime. And but we've picked up enough business to make it worthwhile. I just got an order yesterday for 250 tumblers for a county fair.
Nice.
So we are, pushing out everything.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you raised a really good point. I know you said you were online teaching, but I ended up retiring, for my own reasons, but I was traveling 2 hours a day. And for us, I was actually saving money by not traveling and not paying the tons of taxes because of having the double income. You know what I mean? Because we don't have children. And so it's actually been a huge blessing because it's actually lightened the load because I get to take care of everything here on the farm. And Ryan just has to focus on work, and then he does help build projects and stuff. But it's just been really nice because we're actually living the way we want to live. And it's like, should have did this years ago.
Right?
Right.
You only need money for what you spend. You know what I mean? Like you only need what you spend. And I have people that are planning retirement where I work, and somebody had said to me, well, I'm going to wait until I'm this age because if I retire then, I have a BMW retirement. But if I retire earlier, I have a Volkswagen retirement. I'm thinking, dude, I would retire with a pickup truck retirement. Are you kidding me? I'm good with that.
Hail damage pickup truck.
Right?
But here's the thing. With gas prices now, right? Because I didn't know that when I left. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. I was spending a ton on gas. I'm talking 50-ish miles one way. Right? So you're paying for that. The wear and tear on your vehicles, the tires, the brakes, the constant oil changes, all that has gone away because I fill up, I don't know, once every so many months because I don't use it. I don't go anywhere.
Well, and for us, we looked at it, as well. I was working at 2:00 in the morning. I was working on Chinese time. So that's when kids were getting out of school in China and then starting their classes. So now I noticed that the minute I stopped teaching at 2:00 in the morning, I was getting a decent amount of sleep because I was already only 3 hours. So now I'm getting 5 whole hours. But once that happened, I dropped 40 pounds. Instantly. Oh my goodness. My body just said, oh, good, you're sleeping and you're resting. And so that, that was a major change. And I had worked that while the kids were little because my day was over for work when they were getting up and getting ready for schoolwork.
Mhm.
So it kind of pulled that apart a little bit. So like I said, we took away all that income, but instead now I'm like, I feel so good. Jesse always jokes with me about how I can bottle up my energy and sell it. And I, because I'm all over the place, ADHD, and I'm wired up. And I giggle because you should have seen me when I was working at 2 a.m. That energy was gone.
Mhm.
And my husband knew something was going on with me. And it was just a lack of sleep. I have so much stuff to get done.
Mhm.
And now I still get to do all the fun stuff now, but it's on more sleep, which is perfect for me at least. So still working on the whole fitness and weight loss part, because all I did was sit in front of a computer for 5 years and eat, quick between classes and that. I taught English online to China, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, and Turkey is where I taught. So
wow.
And I hear what you're saying, because I had a job change, same industry pretty much, just a shift, and I work remote. So got rid of that, like Lisa was speaking to, for me, it was only probably like 45 minutes each way. So an hour and a half of my day back. And just, it was a different stress level than where I was. I'm gonna pause real quick and say hi to some more folks that have joined us. And absolutely. I hope I don't miss anyone. But we mentioned earlier Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve, and that's Jennifer Danger, spells rhymes
Danger.
Danger.
Yes. So she changed her name, everybody, just so you know. We've got Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. Charles at Fullen, Arkansas Veteran. Welcome, welcome. Dale Homestead. Hey, Ann. And I think I already mentioned Stephen, Mr. Boots and Bounty. And Pathways Homestead. And Triple Threat Firearms and Defense Incorporated. Hello. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Pafford Homestead, I think I might have said hi to you. Jasper Puddinface, hello, Janine. Good to see you.
Hey, Charlie at Pafford.
Linda and Chuck.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying hey to Charlie at Pafford's and everybody.
Yep. Hi, Stewart's Prepping. Hi, his sweetie. Anybody that I missed?
I like his sweetie's comment. It says, maybe it's also because you're living on purpose now. And I totally agree, because my time is now, I loved my teaching job. And don't get me wrong, I loved my students. They hired me. But now my purpose is primarily my own children. And being able to really push. I mean, I had to take a nap every afternoon because I was up at 2 a.m. And now the kids and I are doing 1,000% more together than what we were doing before, because I was exhausted from working. It was 4.5 long years. And like I said, I did love it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I do definitely live on a greater purpose at this point where, I feel that. So yes, so his sweetie is spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
With me, it was a similar change. So I work in research, and I was on the pharma side, which you already heard me before we went live, everybody. I was talking about some things that I was doing. I don't like medications at all. And here I was working in research on the pharma side. And my husband and I owned a pest control company, and I don't like pesticides either. It was like everything I was doing was totally against what I believed in. And it was making me sick. It was making, I swear it was making me sick. And the shift affected me that way as well, even though I wasn't getting up at 2 a.m. And for the company that I work with now, I have had to get up at like 4 a.m. for a Japan conference call, but not 2 a.m. My word, I'd take 4 a.m.
Right. Yeah, 4 a.m. is 4:30 is about what time the sun's now hitting and coming in. And I'm like, okay, I got so much stuff to do. Unfortunately, with now our business, I can't run machines until everyone else is up in the house. So I'm laser machines will wake the whole household up, and all the dogs and all the cats and critters. And so I just work on other things until about 6:45 or so runs around, and then I start machines up. So
can you tell us a little bit? So we've made some good ground here, like as far as how you guys work with your faith, your family. It sounds like, you guys are just a really tight family and things really revolve around the family, which I think is awesome. And you talked about your business with your soaps and your lotions and all of your animals. And you're in the class with Lisa and I. Fitness. I say, hey man, drinking enough water every day counts as fitness. That goes.
See, that's the key. That's what I learned. Mine is iced tea, but yes, I try to drink more water. But iced tea is water with flavor in it. Is the way my brain kind of works right now. So But my goal right now for fitness is not only to get me, more active in certain things, but also to get my son Berlin. Berlin is 16. He has autism. So that's been a struggle that we've had. And he's a huge couch potato. He's a talking, loving, video game playing teenage boy. So my goal right now is to get him up and walking. Now, from our house to the end of our dirt road is a quarter of a mile. And I told him, I said, we can do a half mile there and back every day. So that's been the next push. He's actually getting up every day and doing one of his sister jobs. My daughter Rowan just left for Yellowstone on Sunday for a 2.5-week trip. So he's at the ranch. She actually works at a horse ranch, a local horse ranch, and scoops poop. It's about a 2-hour-a-day job. It's for her. It's about a 4-hour-a-day job for him. So right now, once she gets back, then he and I will start doing that a little bit more to get up before the sun is hot.
Even though I'm not exercising like I should yet, I'll get but drinking water, Lisa. Drinking water. You're so funny. Trying to cook more healthier meals, like that counts, So that's how I think of that. What do you, in regards to like future, what do you think of as far as your goals go with future concept in mind?
Oh my gosh. Like I said, I'm waiting for grandbabies. I have 3 adult children. I have Shelby, who's 24, that's been married for 2.5 years. I've got Griffin, who is 20, with his girlfriend he's been with for over a year. And I've got Elle, who just turned 18, that started dating her boyfriend. She just moved in with him in December. 3 days after her 18th birthday, I would say. I was not a happy mama right before Christmas, but her and Sam have been together for about 2.5 years now. So, so I have, that's actually I cannot wait to spoil grandchildren and shake them up and feed them sugar and send them home.
Oh yeah, right.
That's my goal.
I'm going to say hi to a couple more people who have joined. Berkshire Farms, Skinner Farms, Mennonite Farmhouse. Welcome, everybody. Is there anybody that you think I missed, Lisa? Skinner Farms.
Let me see here. Tony at Kettle Kitchen, Berkshire Farm.
Thank you all for coming.
Skinner Farms.
So see, Jesse says it's Arizona air. He has no idea where I get my energy. It's because I get 5 hours of sleep now instead of 3 hours of sleep, Jesse. I'm telling you. No, other goals that we have, we already do, raise our own meat. We already have a huge garden. This February challenge that we're doing is going to be hard, but I'm so excited for it because it's just going to push us one step further to that self-sufficiency. I was raised, my dad is he's such a great influence. And like I said, he lives next door to us. My parents both live next door. My sister's down the road with her 2 adult children. And And so, like I said, tight knit family is not just my household, it's all 3 households. And we were raised very much into the prepping scene. My dad owns a gun store. We've been shooting since I was, a year old. I mean, I kid you not. My first shotgun, I think I got when I was 2. So I've been shooting all the time. I love seeing, oh my gosh, I just lost the channel. Triple Threat in here, because that's the life I've always lived. So future, and I joke about the grandchildren thing, it's something that, obviously is one day will be here. But my goal is just, raising my children to be healthy members of society. And that is super huge for us, with having children that have come in through foster care, that have seen a different side of humanity. That has been really difficult, even for my husband and I, to help them, because I know what my goals are, and I know what, my family entails, and they've seen things that I can't even imagine. Yeah. So that has been, the future for us is just to make sure, like our son Tristan, to make sure he's on the same path that Larry and I are on, because I don't want him to wander into the negative of humanity. We're very blessed. Grayson came in our household, she was only 3, so she doesn't quite remember some of the things that went on before she was here. And my other children have learned a lot when it comes to foster care and adoption and that. So we do see that, I don't want my children to grow up thinking everything is, roses and daisies and it's all perfect. But I want to make sure that they understand there is that negativity out there, but we need to continue to be in his light in order to drive in the right direction. So I think that's just my future goal, is just to continue to spread, joy and light on others, as we can show them what it is to live on a homestead and what it is to homeschool our children and be a family. We're losing that in society. So Larry and I are coming up on our 25th wedding anniversary. He married me when I was like, I don't know, 12, because I don't feel old enough to be married that long.
I just had our 32nd.
So
when I was 19.
Wow. Yeah, I was 20. I was 19. How old was I? I was 20 when we got married. It was right after my 20th birthday. So we're coming up on that, and I want my children to see relationships and my parents have been married 49 years, and be that. Yes, Leon's exactly right. We need family back, and being that we did work in foster care, and that we saw so much of the broken, and that's kind of the. I don't want that for my future. I want to make sure my kids know that it's not all broken, and it is here, and we can be that, and we can show Jesus through that teaching.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Say, my daughter just called, but I'm putting her on mute.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, I know on your videos, your kids, they help a lot. It's awesome. They're wonderful. So you mentioned how many animals you have.
Yes.
And you mentioned, how many you have pre-processing. Tell me a little bit about processing. Is that like processing week? I mean, surely it's not processing day. You have so many animals you're processing.
Quail, with everybody's hands. With everybody's hands involved, because they always joke about the many hands make light work.
Yes.
My sister and brother-in-law come over.
Okay.
Obviously Larry's here. He won't admit it, but he's here. My dad and mom will come over on processing days, and we will process out 600 or 700 quail together
Yeah.
in a 1 day period.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very quick. Like I said, and I've got my son-in-law and I've got, my oldest son will come over, and they know that on processing days, they will get, meat to take home with them. It's not like it's all mine.
Yeah.
But everybody takes their part in it and does. Now, as for the bigger animals, I do have a friend who is a butcher. I do not like butchering the pigs, especially because I love my pigs. Coonies are so personable that for me, I have a really hard time. So I actually do send them to a friend to butcher. We have 2 meat pigs coming in this season as well because of all the possible food shortage. I don't want to say food shortages, but all the possibilities of prices continuing to go up. We actually have 2 Berkshire mixes coming in. They were born a couple weeks ago, and they'll be ready right before that February challenge. So my meat's covered. So those days, it's a long day. I will tell you, it's a long, nasty, gross day. But I know where my meat came from, and I know that those animals have been loved, and I know what they've been fed and what they're breathing and how they've been treated their entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes buying grocery store meat not acceptable anymore. So, so yeah, is it ugly? Do we all smell bad by the end of the day? Absolutely. But everybody's eating really well.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it was funny you were talking about the challenge. I'm thinking between our 2 pigs from last year and what we have in the freezer, like we're adding meat to it obviously for us, not just the challenge, but we've been covered since before the challenge started.
Well, and that's actually because we've got big deep freezers, and we've got 2 big deep freezers. We've got our inside refrigerator freezer, and we've got a second one that we keep our spare milk in as things are going. Our dairy's already covered. Our meat, one of our deep freeze is 100% meat that's either we've hunted or we've processed from our farm. So we've got steer, we've got, our pig. I'm out of chicken and quail. We pulled everything out of the freezers. But we do have elk and we do have deer. And I look at that, and we do trade with friends. I mean, I have friends that go, elk and deer hunting, and they'll call me up and they'll say, "Hey, Kris, do you have any produce coming out of your garden right now? I've got a ton of extra meat. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, I do, of course." So we do have that. I may even have goat and antelope still in there. I didn't see any, but that doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. So like I said, our meat and our dairy is already covered. Like I said, we'll have enough cheese for this batch that we make to last us that whole month. Mm-hmm. It's the vegetables right now that I really have to push. But yeah, and we keep track of everything that comes in and out of our farm. Mm-hmm. And, Leanne's there saying food inventory is important to keep track of. Absolutely. One thing I do lack is canning. I don't can. We have a freeze dry machine, so I tend to freeze dry most of our extra food. We do buy from a freeze dry company as well for food storage, especially when there's been shortages at the grocery stores. I just tend to reach for a can of freeze dried and use that, and it doesn't taste any different. So we actually threw out a video this morning talking about Thrive Life, which is a company that does freeze dry food that auto delivers to you. You just tell it what you want and they'll shoot it out once a month to you. So, we look at all of that in the summertime. We don't go to the grocery store at all. So we have about a 4.5, 5 month period that there's no grocery store shopping. It all comes out of our garden. So this year we're just doing it where we process a lot more to keep for the winter time instead of eating it all right now.
Right.
So when I see my Casey's in here, he makes my heart happy. Every time I see Casey from Yogi Farm, he's a doll, and I just absolutely love his videos. He's just a sweetheart. So
Hey,
yeah,
Casey and Hey Shift Kicker. Who else do we? Hog Deer 79. Hello. Thank you all for hopping in.
see now, Cody, Hog Deer 79 is one to take some lessons from. Man, I'm still waiting to make the sausage that he made the other day on his video. I've got to make sausage still. He had a phenomenal video and showed it all of how to make it and put links and products. So yeah, that was a pretty awesome one. So, but you guys, like it became very easy when you take the goggles off and you realize what your goals are for your family. It became very easy to raise your own meat. It became very easy to learn how to garden, to use the freeze dryer, to process your own. Once you realize that all that food that's at the grocery store, you know, for the most part, all the center aisles are all processed, not good for you. You can argue with my 16-year-old that Takis are on the center aisle. I
heard him say that. I love Takis too. Oh my gosh, those things give me some problems. They are so.
Jesse sent him a recipe. He's got his little notes of everything he has to get at the grocery store to make his own Takis. He's so excited about that. Yes. Okay, I'm
waiting for that video.
It will definitely be coming out because Berlin is going to do it on his own. And that's what I told him. We're teaching Berlin a lot of personal skills. We were told when he was 2, he was not speaking. He did not speak until right before his 5th birthday, that he would never thrive in society. Now I've got a son who is doing at grade level because of homeschooling. He is able to speak efficiently. There's times that he has issues making eye contact and that, but we're teaching him life skills now. And that's been a whole lot different because mentally he's probably in an 8 to 10-year-old range instead of a 16-year-old range. But those are those goals. Like I said, take the goggles off and you can see what you need for your family. For us, it was making sure that Berlin was able to be a part of it. Like he asked me the other day if he could look at getting his driver's permit. He turned 16 in February, so he's, you know, a little bit behind of what some of his friends would be 6 months before that, but he's really into that focus. And so we're teaching him things, like the other night we made meal out of all freeze-dried food, and we actually put the video up this morning, and he did it. He was able to read the directions. He was able to fill the water and make sure and cook a meal. So it's, you can do this. You can, you know, do, oh, look at that. Callie Homesteading says the whole life is new to us, but they've got 163 chickens. That's awesome!
Jumped in. Called jumping in.
It is. Both feet forward, just flinging yourself into it. So, yeah, and eye contact is something, and he may struggle with that forever. He didn't learn to tie his shoes until he was almost 10. You know, showering is still, we just have to be very consistent with him and make sure, so we're just making sure that he's thriving and going through and becoming, like you said, a member of society between Tristan and Berlin. And Berlin is our biological and Tristan is our adopted. Oh my gosh, like I said, Casey makes my heart happy every time I see him. But we're just working on all those little things. And being on a homestead, that has really pushed, you know, him knowing where his food comes from and being able to do his own.
That's awesome, Cindy.
That is so phenomenal. I love seeing stories like that because, you know, like I said, doctors told us he wouldn't, and now we're seeing he will. He will graduate on schedule with his peers and his friends that are the same age as him.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So his final project for this season, he's writing me a report and giving a verbal report on Bigfoot. That's what he chose for his sophomore final.
Wow.
So of all the things in the world for him to choose, he wanted to learn about all the different names of Bigfoot throughout society and throughout the different nationalities. So
That's cool.
Yeah, something a little different than expected, but he's doing it. So yeah,
that'll be fun. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
I think so. His sisters are both doing well. Rowan did hers on Yellowstone because she was going on a trip and she wanted to learn about the history of Yellowstone and the big hotel up there with the teddy bear up that Teddy Roosevelt had given. And I mean, just she went all out. And Grayson, I think, is doing Grand Canyon. She's shaking her head up and down. She's in the other room listening to all this. She's working on Grand Canyon and Havasu Pie Falls, the town Havasu Pie, down in the canyon. It's the last town that's done, by mail by mule. That was not coming out right, but yeah. So that's what we're working on here in general.
Yep.
Sitting is an amazing therapy for all of the kids. That's what we learned when we did have foster kids come in, is I would try and find where the kids would disappear to, and they'd be sitting in the garden eating peas. I have green candy that grows in my garden, and they would eat these peas, and they would go back and there we are. They would tell their bio families or tell their, their caseworkers about being able to pick green candy out of the garden and sit. And I never saw a snap pea the entire time that I had foster kids. Never came into the house. So, well, thank you. Thank you. It's work. It's fun. It's our life,
Yep.
A lot of people ask me how I can keep track of everything, how I do everything in my day. I'm a list maker. I was diagnosed with ADHD at 19. I have to make my lists. I have to know what my day is going to be like in order to get it done. So I've taught all of my children the same thing. My husband has always been very amazed. I keep a paper calendar still. I have a teacher calendar that I keep track of everything in. And it's got everything from milking time to planting in the garden to what we need to do as a family. And if I miss something, I miss something, and it's not a big deal. And I'm not too hard on myself, but I have to keep myself on track. And that's one thing. And Leanne was diagnosed ADHD at 21. And so it's the same thing. And I watch her videos and I see the same, we are the same person in different states. I see that. And I failed college the first time around. I failed college the very first time around. I ended up getting my master's with 8 children at home. So it can be done, and it's just a matter of that focus. But now I've gone on this crazy tangent, you guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Great. I think it's great. Everything that you all do and fostering kids. It's such a needed thing in our society too. There's a lot of kids waiting for someone to step up, someone who can step up.
We did 6 full years of fostering before we closed our license, and that was rough. I will tell you, some of the kids that came in, I still have contact though with a lot of the parents of kids that did come in, which has been amazing. I get cards in the mail. Some of them follow our YouTube or Instagram, and I'm able to see these kids grow up once they were able to go home. And so that has been what has really pushed us. Now for the 3 children that I did adopt, there was no going home. There was too much ugly in the situation. So, every day pray for their bio family, because no matter what, my children still have those parents out there. Whether they're in prison or they are on their own or they've lost other children or they're doing better. I mean, and there's so many different realms they could come with. And we pray for them every morning, because without them, I wouldn't have some of my own children. So I always look at it from a different perspective. You know, Larry and I did not go into foster care because we couldn't have children, obviously. We already had 5 of our own when we went into foster care. We did it because we knew kids could use a family like ours and be a part of it, be a part of everything that we already had. So we ended up with our 2 sons, and then a year later with our daughter.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So, our new land, it is very, very powerful. Like I said, it's definitely eye opening. And then, like I said, we had to take the goggles off for a lot of things in order to make everything work.
Does anybody have any questions for Kris? I have one question, Kris.
Absolutely.
So you raise coonies and
yes.
you process coonies and your goats. Do you have arrangements with any neighbors or anything? I'm trying to be careful of how I word this.
No, I have angry neighbors. Oh, hello. I have neighbors who don't like kids and animals. This is Target, by the way. This is one of our new house cats. He's training to eat every scorpion and centipede that comes into the household.
Awesome.
We'll keep him around. No, I actually have some very cranky neighbors on some of the different sides. It happens.
I was talking more about like the sharing of the food.
No. As a matter of fact, I have a few neighbors that are very, very anti-animal. They don't like kids outside laughing and playing. And like I said, we're on 6 acres, so we've got quite a spread. I know, it's crazy. I hope that one day Larry and I can sell our place here and move to, 100 acres and have the house right in the middle and have no neighbors.
Yeah.
That would be my initial goal. But his retirement says a little bit different. So we'll see. He's got 6 more years before he retires. Larry's a technology director for a school district. So we're on total opposite aspects with us homeschooling and him in the public school. But we've been homeschooling almost as long as he's worked for a public school. So there should be no issues there. But Leanne says she thought she was the only one with cats that bomb. No. Target tends to try and always be in here. So
that's awesome.
And Casey wants me to move to Georgia. We're actually going to be taking a family trip with the 3 kids that are at home. Griffin's moving back into the household for a week, and we are going to Missouri to see some friends of ours that just bought a homestead there a couple months ago. They got all their animals moved from here in this area, and so we're going to go over and visit with them. And who knows if Larry will fall in love with an area. We'll see. I'm always game for everything except for the fact that my parents and my sister lives here. So kind of
we have the issue here in Arizona of water. So I think all of us keep an open mind as far as the possibility of relocating to a more fruitful place with water.
Absolutely.
Careful what you wish for. Because we're talking water everywhere, and humidity and rain.
I know. We haven't had rain in our area for probably 6 months now.
It's been so long. I don't remember.
It's dry. We are very, very dry right now.
We already had really bad fires. I know one was towards you. One was further east of Flagstaff. But one was between where I am and where you are. That was pretty bad too. Yeah, and we don't. That's true.
Yeah, and it's
Kris, that's the truth too. Because in Arizona, we get 7% humidity. It gets so dry here, and where I'm at, because I'm further north, and I'm at 7,000 feet. It gets so dry that they tell you to keep tabs on it and use a humidifier.
Yep.
Because it's bad for you to have it be so dry.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man,
I'm showing 12% right now in our area.
What
yeah,
is that?
we get it that
That's
low
why
too.
I make goat milk lotion, you guys. That's why I make goat milk lotion. I put it on all day long.
All day long.
all day. No, it's, and it's an option. I always told Larry, I said, it's an option for us to figure out if it's something we want to do in the future. Our business has really sprung, but like I said, more than 50% of it is online. So we could move anywhere and still, thrive in that sense. And, Larry's got a computer degree, so it's not like he can't go anywhere if it is something that's an option.
Hey,
so we'll see.
Kris, if you guys decide to do that, don't forget the cost of living here has gotten ridiculous with people fleeing California because the cost of living there is stupid crazy. So they come over here, and our homes are worth a lot more than they're worth. So if we sold here, we could move to a place like you were mentioning, Kris, Missouri, or it's going to be cheaper everywhere. You're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. But the people that are doing
so we'll just keep that in mind when we travel, and that's our goal. Is we just want to see different areas and see if it's something that would be in the future. Grayson is starting 7th grade. I have 2 starting as freshmen in high school. Luckily, with us homeschooling, we do have to find a homeschool friendly, which Missouri and Arkansas are both very homeschool friendly states. Because I would continue that, with them. I don't want to move someplace and then turn around and have to put them into public school, because this is what they know. I mean, Grayson she was only in public school for kindergarten because she was in foster care at the time. Otherwise, she's been home with us, being able to do her schoolwork. Same with most of the other kids. I think Rowan's never been in public school at all. Elwyn, the one who graduated she graduated at 16, but she had never been in public school, and graduated high school, very early. So she's my 18-year-old, and she's been done. She's a manager at a donut shop. I mean, she does amazing for being an 18-year-old. Nice. So, it works out. My oldest daughter decided she wanted to go to high school just to see what it was. But then at that point, we had a whole house full of foster and adopt kids, and biological kids for her. There were 7 little ones at that point, and she went to high school, and they ended up graduating her after a year. She tested out of every class.
Awesome.
And now she's a teacher at a public school in a special ed department of all places. So, and then my oldest son works for a public school as well. He's one of the maintenance guys for a school. He does one of the schools as the on-campus maintenance. He's called the day porter. So the kids have all really thrived, and I think that's the goal. A lot of my older children said if we did decide to move, they would as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
that's wonderful. We have been having conversations like that in our family as well, but I think that's awesome because family needs family.
Absolutely.
We can't. Absolutely. We need each other, especially. I feel like we've always needed each other, but I think there was a time in our history where it was very normal for family to leave family and go and start their, immediate family somewhere else. And so kids grew up without cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents around. I was one of those, and so we kind of planted here. The rest of my family's in Oklahoma. Well, most of them, but you know what I mean? And I feel like what a blessing that would have been to have cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents around. I think that it's really, it's value that people don't think about, somebody else is going to, because kids don't listen to their parents. For starters, I mean, they don't always. If you have another family member there to validate what your parents are saying, they're going to listen more. And I think absolutely that makes a big difference. And so awesome to have the grandparents right by you guys. That's awesome. That's so absolutely wonderful. So we are at the top of the hour, actually a little over. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask Kris before we wrap it up today? Kris, thank you so much for coming on. Go ahead, Lisa.
I was going to say, while we're waiting, Kris, thank you so much for coming on today too, because it's just been great getting to know you more and everything and learn more about you. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. Jesse does want to know if I'm related to the Waltons or not. No, but we do say good night to everyone the same way. But thank you again for having me on here. I know I'm a newer channel to the lives and doing that, and I love these channels. These guys are amazing. I have jumped on every one that I possibly can. And this whole community, they're family. I always say family. I've made so many new friends here, and I want to thank all of you guys for the warm welcomes and letting us come in here and be a part of it. So I appreciate it.
We do have such a great community. I tell you, it's awesome. And it's been so nice getting to know you, Kris, especially since we're neighbors. You know, there's not that many homesteading channels over here in our area. So it's nice to meet you and get to chat with you more today. I'm going to be connecting with you offline. I'll email you.
Awesome. Sounds good, you guys.
I have some other stuff I want to chat with you about, but it's great talking to you. And thank you everybody for coming in. Just a reminder that next Tuesday we'll be over on Lisa's channel, Yogi Hollow Farm. So I hope you all will catch us over there. Same day, Tuesday, same time, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So we will see you all then. You all have a great rest of your day, and I hope everyone has a blessed week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody.